Hi, this is Stan Fitzgerald with Veterans for America First and our new media wing, the Vet Voice. And boy, do we have a treat for you today. I have a friend of mine, Mr. Donald Kasen, who is with Peter Pan Records, Inspired Studios, and many other well-known businesses. And in the Vet Voice, we do like to talk about businesses that are supportive of veterans in our law enforcement community. And knowing Don for almost 30 years now, I can tell you he certainly is. And I've had the pleasure of working with him on a national level, licensing product and having exclusive product. And we'll get into that. But first, Don, people don't want to hear about me. They want to hear about your history. So can you give them some background?
Sure. Good morning, Stan. Uh, I'll give you what we call 90 years and 90 seconds. It's actually, we're in business over 90 years. Family business going back to 1928. Started out in buttons and novelties. And my, my standard story is one day we got in a button with one hole in it. And what do you do with a button with one hole in it? We went into the record business at the beginning of the record business. So that was always well received by everybody when we talked about that. And we started out with children's records and with under actually the Humpty Dumpty label, and then shortly thereafter went with the Peter Pan Records. So we've been a leader in children's music since then. We then got into budget music, all kinds of budget music, jazz, blues, country. We now have over 30 record labels, classical as well, to classical, to country, and several others. In 1979, there was a new thing called video, when we went into the video business. And the first thing we were doing at that time, we were one of the founders of the exercise business, doing something new in the 70s called aerobic dancing. And we started out with that with a book and record. And we sold, I think our first one, about 400,000 book and records. And we put out a second and a third. Then we started signing artists. And our first major artist was Joni Greggins, who had a TV show called The Morning Stretch. Then we signed Denise Austin, and she was a huge success. We then were very successful with a new thing called step aerobics. We were the first ones out with that. Later on, we did spinning with Johnny G. We introduced that. We introduced country line dancing. What else did we do? Oh, and then we introduced Pilates in 1996. So we were a leader in that business. Actually, one time we were the biggest in that business, the video business of health and fitness and exercise. So children's and exercise have been the mainstays of our business for many, many years. So I can't believe how much time has gone by. I think it's 35, almost 40 years in exercise and 75 years in children's music and almost 80 years in children's music. So that's a little snapshot. As I said, 90 years, 90 seconds of what we've been doing.
So just to back up to the records, those of us old enough to remember record stores, I am, unfortunately. As a child growing up, I certainly remember Peter Pan Records. I'm going to put some up on the screen later so you could see the famous icon of the elf. Is that an elf, Don, for Peter Pan on your label?
No, it's a Peter Pan. It's an image of Peter Pan.
Okay, so
well, it's a drawing of the. Are you talking about our logo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Our logo is like it's a Peter Pan logo. But
so those of you.
But Peter Pan, yes, Peter Pan is an elf. As a matter of fact, just a segue. I'm finishing up a novel about Peter Pan. Um, and that's exactly where it's coming from, about Peter Pan being an elf. And it's the prequel to the story that everybody knows about Peter Pan. So, and the title's called Becoming Peter Pan.
So in addition to records, movies, exercise videos, singles, you're also an author.
Right, that's correct. We have a line of over 150 children's books, mostly the classics, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Cinderella, Snow White. We have some learning. I finished a book called Opposites, Short and Tall, and that's not all, counting, colors, things like that. Educational children's books as well.
And back in the day, there was a major record labels, and they used to have what were they? Music awards. And Don used to be invited, right, to those ceremonies. Fill in the public on what exactly they were back in the day. And that is pretty amazing that you'd be invited as a children's record label.
Well, are you talking about the NARM records, which is the National Association of Record Merchandisers? That's that we were founding members of that association, which was the entire record industry. We were founding member of that. If that's what you're referring to.
That is what I'm referring to. I did this
Oh.
without notes because I've known you for 30 years, and I figured I could just talk about it, and that was probably a mistake.
Yeah, you just give me a little snippet, and I can run with it. No worries. That's so good.
So to fast forward a little bit to the videos, you mentioned some of the key people, but you also worked with who I thought was a fantastic exercise instructor, and the top seller is Leslie Sansone.
Right. Oh, yeah. In fact, when she came to us with a walk aerobics, her name was Leslie Tamilio. And it was like, well, I said, I don't think that name's going to sell very well. So what's your maiden name? She says, Leslie Sansone. I go, that's it. We're going to use Leslie Sansone. And so we did her first exercise video, and then we recorded, I think, 14 more fitness videos with walk aerobics, and she became a huge national, international star and personality.
And if I remember correctly, also Regis and was it Jane Fonda too?
No, we didn't do Jane. We did Regis Philbin. I worked with Shaquille O'Neal. We did not a workout, but we did a video with him. We did Jack LaLanne, who's famous, also famous. But I think our biggest win was actually an in-house brand that I created, called The Method, which was a Pilates built around Pilates. So that was a big one. That and Denise Austin.
For those of you who know myself and my wife Donna, we credit Don as being the inspiration for our current business. And Don and I both like to think outside the box. And as the retail end of the DVD business was shrinking, the internet end exploded. So people think it's a dying industry. It's not. I mean, people want to give a gift. They don't necessarily want to download. So there's still a tremendous market for the physical product. And one of the things that Don and I and Donna came up with was licensing titles and working with exclusive titles. And Don, I credit him with helping us get these contracts and forwarding our business career. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are. So thank you for that, my friend.
Oh, well, thank you. We appreciate the business very much. And it's great to see that people are still buying DVDs and supporting that side of the business. And there's a good reason why that people are sticking with that. They're also, just like vinyl. I think vinyl not only went away, it was almost gone. Now there's a huge resurgence in vinyl, and expect that could probably happen with DVDs as well.
And before I let you go, I want to talk a little bit about work ethics. I've been working since I was 12 years old, and I can't tolerate people that say they're going to do something and then don't. are people that don't try. People that try, if it doesn't work, I'll work with them. I credit them, they try. And I know you have very strong work ethics. And do you want to talk about where you got those from?
Sure. Well, you were a late starter at 12. my, my dad brought me into the factory when I was 9 and I was sweeping floors. And then, of course, I started at, working there on every Saturday growing up. I missed partying with my friends on Saturdays, but I worked Saturdays. And then, of course, then when I got to, it was college, I'd come home, I'd be working when I was home from college in the factory. So I really loved it. Well, actually, what I loved doing was I became a professional musician. I started playing at around 12 or 13 years old, playing guitar, and then became a professional musician at 16, playing in bands. And then, of course, in college, I played in bands. And then it was very easy for me to go into the music business once I got out of college. I wasn't good enough to be a full-time professional musician, but I was good enough to be in the business. So
Well,
I kept
I
that
don't know
ethic.
about that. Don's a little humble because their band did open up for the Beach Boys on tour.
Well, yeah, we did open up for the Beach Boys and the Mamas and Papas, and we were good, but not great.
Yes, you
And
were.
but I still started writing. I've been writing. I think I've written probably over 1,000 songs. So one of the things I forgot to mention is we do a lot of holiday music, and so I've written a lot of Christmas songs, Halloween music. So we have a big catalog in the music business. So music publishing. So we're a big music publisher as well.
And before we sign off, people that want to learn more about you, where can they go to do that?
We have several sites. The biggest one is peterpan.com. We have Mountain Dew Records, which is a country label. That's mountaindewrecords.com. And our fitness is isweatmusic.com. And of course, there's inspired-studios.com. So we have those are the biggest ones that we have. You can also find our fitness on YouTube under Contour Fitness, which is our latest label. You can find Leslie Sansone and Denise Austin, etc. on that. A lot of it's on YouTube. You can find Peter Pan Records on YouTube, Mountain Dew Records, just about all our labels on YouTube.
Well, my friend, I thank you for your time, and you and I are workhorses, and we'll be talking.
We're
We'll be
still at
talking.
it. I'm still at it.
Yeah,
I'm not
well,
going to tell you how old I am, but I'm still at it. I'm in my mid-70s, and I'm still at it, and I still love it. I love what I do, and I love working with people like you, Stan. That's what keeps me going, and just love what you do. You talk about work ethic. Always do what you love to do, and you'll never stop. Why should you?
there you have it. Great advice, and we'll be talking business tomorrow. And I look
Okay, you
forward to it.
got it.
Talk to you then. Take
You
care, my
got it.
friend.
Thank you. Thanks for the interview.
You're welcome. Bye bye now.
Bye-bye.